When the dream started, I was in a bathroom. I saw a woman pleading for something to stop. Then Manny showed up and stood in front of her. I had my crucifix ready, so I got Manny's attention. As soon as Manny looked over, I held up my crucifix. I thought this was gonna be it and that Manny would go back to hell or something, but it didn't do anything and Manny started laughing. Then the crucifix started burning up and eventually crumpled to the floor. Manny said I was hilarious, and then the girl started screaming, and Manny said she was having a baby. A gnarled flesh hand burst from her stomach, followed by more fleshy hands coming out from all over her body before her stomach split open, revealing teeth. It began to eat the woman's flesh, and it grew as it did until it became the size of a small dog. Manny said it was adorable and told it there was plenty of food outside. Then he opened the door and laughed as it ran outside. Manny said he wanted to show me lots of things and dragged me by the arm until we got to a room with a bunch of security cameras, and he slammed me to the ground and stood over me. Manny said that he was going to put on a show of carnage. He said that none of this would be possible without me and thanked me for my contributions. Manny told me to watch the cameras. He said there was a party going on and that soon things were about to get really spicy. Then screams were coming from where the party was, and I could see on the cameras that the flesh monster was eating people and growing bigger the more people it ate. Manny laughed and said that he was gonna spice it up more by bringing back the worst of the worst. Then I heard screams around me, but it wasn't the party screams, which were already horrifying. These were way worse. Thousands of souls screaming all at once in complete and utter agony. It was something the movies could never replicate. That's when the spirits of violent offenders started appearing. These were all kinds of deranged people who Manny had let out of hell to cause harm. Each of them had been sent to prison in life for committing some kind of violent crime, and it seemed they weren't stopping in death. The spirits began to wreak havoc, and pretty soon things got even worse. I saw people get eaten by paintings, and the flesh monster thing was growling bigger and bigger. It was something you'd have to see to believe. The police chief showed up with Fregley and he shot at the thing, but it didn't do any good. Shit. It started to attack them and it backed both of them in the corner. I thought it was gonna be it for them, but then someone came and saved them, and you wouldn't believe who it was. Ah! It was Albert. I don't know how he survived the fall, but he apparently did, and he came running up to the flesh monster. Then he started wrestling it and managed to hold it off. Manny laughed at the whole display and said it was entertaining, but that Albert wouldn't last for long. Manny said that he controls the dreams, and as long as I'm asleep, it's his world. Manny said that all he needed was my body asleep and dreaming, which means I had to be alive. But just because my body was alive didn't mean my soul had to be in my body. He said that he was gonna take my soul to hell and that we would spend eternity having fun together. I didn't want to know what Manny's idea of fun looked like, so I took off and ran. Manny chased me and said that this made it even more fun. I ran until I found an exit and went outside. When I went outside, I saw a church and remembered this sermon I heard while going to the church as a kid about how the church is the house of God and how in God's house no evil prevails. I figured that maybe I could be safe from Manny in the church, so I sprinted over there and I didn't look back. When I went inside the church, I thought I was safe, but I guess I spoke too soon because I was quickly proven wrong. Manny laughed and inched closer to me as I backed away. This was it. I tried everything I could, but in the end it all came to the same conclusion. Manny said I had nowhere to go. I kept backing away until I stumbled and fell into a thing of holy water. When I fell in, Manny shrieked in pain. Manny screamed at me to get out of the water. I realized that since I was the source of the dreams he used to affect the living world, me being in holy water must be incredibly painful for him. I splashed around in it and soon Manny started burning up. He said this wasn't the end of this, and that he'd be back, and when he was, I'd be sorry. Then he disappeared and he was no more. I felt a sense of peace and relief. I felt like Manny could invade my dreams no more. Manny was gone along with all the nightmares he brought with him. I knew he wasn't really gone and that he was still out there, but he certainly wasn't entering my dreams again. I woke up and I don't remember too much of what happened after that, but I remember Frigley came back with the police chief and Albert. Apparently the flesh monster disappeared along with all the other stuff once I defeated Manny. After a while I was allowed to go back to the hotel and now I'm about to go to sleep. I know I'm gonna sleep well, especially since this time there won't be any demons in my dreams. Friday. For the first time in the entire week, I had a good night's sleep. After I woke up, I went to get some breakfast, and while I drove, I passed by a building called Darren's Cheese Factory. I got breakfast at a pancake place, and after I was done, I went back to the hotel and relaxed a bit before I packed my bags and got ready to leave town. I visited Albert before I left and thanked him for everything that he did for me. He told me it was no problem and we said our goodbyes before I headed out. As I drove away, I decided to leave what happened in plain view. I don't know if Manny will come back one day, but until he does, I'm not gonna bother with it. Manny won't be able to do anything to me anymore, so as far as I'm concerned, he may as well be truly dead.